America. Bonjour, hi, Canada. Hugh Hewitt inside the Beltway. A little bit rainy Beltway today on this Friday. Hope you're ready for a good weekend wherever you are. Let me do a quick review of the biggest stories of the day. Michael Reinold, the suspect in the Portland shooting, Antifa member, killed by law enforcement as he resisted arrest and drew on U.S. Marshals last night. The Pfizer boss, all right, one of America's biggest pharmaceuticals, says not to worry. They are not bringing to market any vaccine unless it's safe. We saw some Joe Biden supporters begin to suggest yesterday that the FDA was going to run through an unsafe virus vaccine. And Albert Bourla said the U.S. drug maker would never submit any vaccine for authorization before it was safe and effective. And by the way, that's just common sense. No one will do that. Let me also cover, we're going to get unemployment numbers later, maybe in hour 3 during the Hillsdale Dialogue. I will tell you about them. It's likely to decline. We don't know how much in August. But we had a big market sell-off yesterday. The president called it profit-taking. That's what I wish I'd taken some profits, because the only stock I own is Amazon. It went down, $160, but I didn't because I don't sell and buy. I'm not a trader. But the traders decided they would swoop in and take a lot of profit. What's it look like this morning? This is brought to you by Birch Gold. All right, so remember, if you had gold yesterday, gold went up. Gold went up to $1,945.80. Gold usually acts inverse to the market, and it's been hanging around in the 1900s for a long time, looking to break out above 2,000. Birch Gold helps you diversify, put gold in your portfolio via your 401k or your IRA by taking 10 to 25% of that and rolling it over into physical metals. Go to hughgold.com. That's what I recommend, along with thousands of 5-star reviews, hughgold.com. Or you can just text my name, Hugh, to 474747. They will send you an info kit. I bought Birch Gold last week, added to my gold because the stocks were getting so high, so I diversified a little bit, but I didn't sell any stocks. I sold some cash and got some gold and put it in the safety deposit box because that's diversification. Think about it. HughGold.com. How bad was it yesterday? The Dow went down 807 points, which is almost, 2.78% to be specific. NASDAQ went down 598 points, which is an almost 5% sell-off. And the S&P went down 125. Amazon, as I said, went down $163, mirroring the Dow, down 4.63%. I expect everything to be rebounding today, but I'm not a prophet nor the son of a prophet, and it's a morning show, so I don't predict. I will tell you that overseas, though, in Great Britain, the market is up 0.78%, and the German market's up 0.5%. That's because that was, as the president said, profit-taking. Unemployment numbers matter a lot more than market up and down. Other big story today before I turn to Joe Biden, if you're watching on Facebook, on my YouTube channel, or on Instagram, I am holding up Byron York's new book, Obsession. You may remember I gave him a hard time earlier this week about I hadn't gotten it. It was delivered yesterday, and I spent an hour last night. You should see my first chapter, heavily annotated, on James Comey and the setup of the president. Comey may escape John Durham. He might not be indicted by John Durham. He will never escape Obsession. Byron York rolls him over with a steamroller. Jim Comey is a bad guy. He's a bad cop, a very bad cop. And the details and the specifics are here. And they tried to take out Trump from the day he entered office. It is shameful. I hope Durham indicts the bunch of them, because this is shameful. And the book to get it from is Obsession. And if you've got some lefty in your life that you love and is obsessed with hating Trump, send them Obsession. Just go online. It's at pubs next week. So I got the advance copy, pre-order, because it's going to sell out. And then they'll reprint it and they'll sell some more. But get Obsession, get 5 copies, give it to every lefty. It could change the election if people read the first chapter, just the first chapter, and what a bad guy Comey was, how he tried to set up the president. Obsession. Inside the Washington Establishment's Never-Ending War on Trump by Byron York. All right, now let's get to Joe Biden. I got a lot of Joe Biden tape because press tried to cover this up. He had a disastrous visit to Kenosha yesterday. Got cut number 1 first.
There is not a single solitary reason in the world why why, as I said, we shouldn't be in a position that everybody, and that's my wife, Jill. Hey, Jilly, I'm Jill's husband, actually.
Squirrel. 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 Squirrel.
But I guess I should cut to the chase here. We're in a...
You know, he sounds bad because he's wearing a mask, maybe. I mean, he is wearing a mask. But it does sound like the guy in the ER who's on oxygen. Then he went to a church in Kenosha. By the way, can we show the pictures of the crowd outside the church in Kenosha? Can you put that up on my stream, please? They're not ready. Harley and Ben are barely awake. There's a picture of the church that Joe Biden attended and the massive crowd that showed up. I guess we're not going to show it.
No, we're putting it up. Hang on.
Hang on. They're really awake there at the production studio. There's my logo. There it is. If you're looking, there are 12 people there greeting Joe Biden. Now, across the street, if you're looking across the street, you're going to see the media. Can we put up that picture? Apparently not. But, yeah, there's the media. There are more media there than there are people to greet Joe Biden. Let's do a compare and contrast. Here's the crowd that greeted Donald Trump last week. Yes, there you go. Reince Priebus was on last night, Fox News with Jason Chaffetz. Here's what he said. And Reince is from Kenosha. Cut number 20.
Well, first of all, you're right. The president actually had business in Kenosha because he was part of the federal response to restore order in Kenosha. Joe Biden has nothing in Kenosha other than he's running for president. But I lived in Kenosha my entire life. My parents still live in Kenosha. I can tell you without any exaggeration, from Waukegan, Illinois to Kenosha, Wisconsin, was about a 25-minute drive. I have never in my life seen the outpouring of support, not just tacit support, but wild, off-the-charts support for this president. And it was about 99% to 1. This is a 65% Democrat town. And all they want to do is, in these signs saying, thank you for saving our town. People need to realize, a week ago, Kenosha was burning down. And people were putting their kids, no exaggeration, in their basements, while Dad was sitting in the kitchen with their hunting rifles, not knowing who was going to come through the front door. Things have changed in the field. This issue of law and order is real. And if you look at what the president's talking about, you look at what the Democrats are talking about, defunding the police, kneeling for the national anthem, suspending seasons of the NBA and not playing sports, not putting the kids in school. This election is coming down to freedom and how we want to live as Americans, and Kenosha is the example of it all.
Reince Priebus on fire last night. I had to call Reince up afterward. Meanwhile, Joe Biden went to a church, and this is what he said at the church. Cut number 2.
It'll be a whole heck of a lot better. We'll move a lot further down the road. People fear that which is different. We gotta, for example, why in God's name don't we teach history in history classes? A black man invented the light bulb, not a white guy named Edison. Okay? There's so much. Did anybody know before what's recently happened? That Black Wall Street in Oklahoma was burned to the ground? Anybody know these things? We act because we don't teach them. We got to give people facts. Teach them what's out there. The idea. I just spent time with a number of the NFL players and basketball players, including Steph Curry. You know, these folks are making a difference now. It's not about fame or glory, because they have brothers.
What in the world is he talking about? Thomas Edison, the NBA, NFL. By the way, I don't think a black guy invented the light bulb. I'll do a fact check during the break. Poor Joe Biden. Stay tuned, America.